There is no Batman in this! But is that a good thing?
I think so.
I think so too.
Welcome back. This is our full season review of The Penguin.
Since this is a series recap, there will be spoilers the entire time.
Fear not. If you're looking for a spoiler-free review, we do have a review up for the first episode. Go ahead and check that out.
Not gonna lie, I love Robert Pattinson. I wanted him to be Batman way before anyone else wanted him to be Batman, so I would have appreciated seeing him in the show and was kind of looking forward to seeing him. But I don't think he needed to be in this show, although I really could talk about Robert Pattinson all day long if you give me the chance.
He totally will.
Like, maybe mention that he won an award just casually for Sexiest First Time Dad. Just throwing that out there, no big deal. But I agree, that would have been too much sex appeal in this show. Too much. Instead, they decided to take Colin Farrell and make him as ugly as possible.
Speaking of which, a quick props to the special effects department for this entire season, and props to Colin Farrell for enduring that suit and makeup for weeks on end. That had to have been torture.
He absolutely hated it, apparently.
At the same time, let's give props to the writers and Max for letting the same people who did the movie develop the TV show and just gave them time to cook on it. I really want to see stuff like that happen in other areas of media. It's something that doesn't happen often enough.
I agree. That is a request from consumers. We want to see more stuff like this.
Now let's take a moment to zoom in on a couple of episodes. Like episode 4, Cent'anni, which is my favorite episode, by the way. This episode stars Kristen Milioti, who plays Sofia Falcone and later Sofia Gigante. Throughout the season, you're led to believe that Kristen was a horrible murderer called the Hangman and was sent to Arkham because she was just out of control, killing women. Turns out, none of that was true. As you find out in this episode, you see her through her whole entire arc. A good person who was forced into a bad situation by none other than the Penguin. Kristen's performance throughout the entire series is my personal favorite out of all the characters. I think we really get to see what she's going through and how she's conflicted on a few things. One of the examples being like she has to battle with being the Hangman to everybody else when she just wants to go back to her normal life as Sophia. On the other hand, if she does that, nobody seems to take her seriously, so she does have to go back to being the Hangman and start killing some people to get what she needs. And that's part of why episode 4 is my favorite. It really zeroes in on her backstory and just explores the character and those feelings that she has being at Arkham and how it affects her character and her interactions with everybody else around her, notably her family, which she ends up killing off. But it's a great performance all around from Kristen, and I think this episode and her performance in general, this is what's going to win the show some awards.
Although I agree, I like Colin Farrell. I think he did the better job. He had the better performance overall. And where I agree with your opinion is I do think Sophia was the more complicated character. I think Colin Farrell's performance was so realistic and so down to earth and relatable. His performance just kept me so intrigued and just wanted to root for the guy the entire time, only to just disappoint me in the end, which leads me to why I think episode 8 is my favorite episode. Episode 8 is when the Penguin loses all control of his entire life. Everything he built up, his whole business, the bliss, just crumbles. And it starts with the symbolism of him underneath Gotham, as low as can be, which is then matched with him being kidnapped and confronted with his mom's true feelings. You rooted for this guy. You felt sympathy for this guy. But he was willing to do anything to put anyone below him so that he can be on top. He's the most selfish guy in the entire world, which ultimately leaves you feeling like you made a mistake by rooting for him. And I loved that.
Specifically, he makes a lot of sacrifices in that episode. Like Victor, ultimately, they have a very father-son relationship. But once Penguin realizes that, he knows he has no other choice but to kill him.
Once he made that connection, he learned that that's something somebody can use to exploit him in the future and use it against him.
Like Sophia did with his mom. She ended up learning the truth about how Penguin murdered his brothers. And his mom tried to kill Penguin as a young kid because of that. And then forced them both to be in a room where they could admit that to each other. His mom does, but he can't tell the truth. And that destroys his sense of family between his mom and himself. Someone who he really looked up to, really respected, and wanted to prove himself to throughout the entire season, throughout his entire life.
So instead of just killing her like she asked, he decided to put her in the penthouse of her dreams with a beautiful view of the city while she lies there as a vegetable. Essentially, a prisoner to her son.
And you could be forgiven for forgetting that any of this show has anything to do with comic books or DC. On its own, it's an amazing gangster mafia tale. But then you're reminded at the very last moment, there will be justice in Gotham.
Is this worth the price of a Max subscription?
Yes. The acting, the storyline, the makeup, the special effects, everything in this was just so consistent and so perfect. I've not seen a TV show like this in a long time.
I was really looking for inconsistencies in the storyline or something where I'm going like, okay, this is a little weird. Why are we going this direction? It all built up so perfectly. It just layered right on top of each other. You saw the build-ups, you saw the fall downs, and you saw the build backups. It was a masterpiece.
And I think it's helped just that little bit more to know the commitment that everybody had to this project. It's really appreciated. Thank you so much to everybody that worked on that show.
I am thrilled and excited to look forward towards the Batman 2.
It's time for the score.
No one's gonna take me seriously. I just know it.
10 out of 10?
It's 10 out of 10
10
again.
out of 10.
I got the third 10 out of 10 in a month for me. I'm sorry, it's just too good.
It's simply too good.
Even without Robert Pattinson.
That's pretty high praise coming from you, not gonna lie. And with that,
We're just two regular dudes doing regular reviews. You say welcome back.
Okay.
Fuck it.
Welcome back. Fuck it.
Favorite episode?
Let's dial it in to our favorite episodes. Let's dial it in to our favorite episodes.
Let's dial
it in to our favorite episodes. Let's dial it in.